Garden and Gun has covered the culture of the South for nearly 20 years. It's food, it's drink, it's music, it's art, and of course the land. Southern culture has been shaped as much by the environment as the people who inhabit it. With Champions of Conservation, we're spotlighting individuals who are working every day to improve our environment. Real folks working to make a real impact on our world. Chris Smith first showed up on our radar because of his James Beard Award-winning book, The Whole Okra, which investigates the history, the uses, the recipes, and all of the varieties of this southern staple. Smith founded the nonprofit Utopian Seed Project in Asheville, North Carolina in 2018. So we're headed to Franny's farm, just outside of the city, to meet with Chris at one of their experimental plots.
Well, we're a fairly young nonprofit. We're about 4 years old now. And really, we set ourselves up to explore and promote and encourage and educate around increased agrobiodiversity in the food and farming system. What I really mean by that is we want both farmers growing more varieties of traditional crops, more types of crops, also want more people eating those crops. Thousands and thousands and thousands of species that could be eaten that aren't. And we're figuring that if we get more diversity in the food system, then we're going to have more resilience. Climate change, warming climate, we're definitely going to a place that's not going to be great for growing a lot of the crops that we currently grow. So what are we going to grow in 10 years' time, 15 years' time, 20 years' time?
The International Food Policy Research Institute projects that by 2050, suitable croplands for 4 top commodities, corn, potatoes, rice, and wheat, will shift, in some cases pushing farmers to plant new crops. All right, so let's talk about this row here.
It's called a chira. Scientifically, it's Canna edulis. It's a real stunning plant, but it does have these really large starch molecules, so it makes an awesome flour, an awesome starch.
Wow. Where is it from?
South America. I love growing it for the foliage, but the sheer amount of food it grows is impressive.
And we're talking 6 feet tall?
Oh, more, yeah.
Really?
8 feet tall.
So does a plant like that consume more water?
Well, water's a thing we think about, but at this farm, we don't irrigate, we don't spray
These guys are all on their own.
They're on their own, yeah.
Okay.
And the ones that survive are the ones we want, because they're the ones that will be able to feed us in challenging times.
Right.
We're growing cassava and ube and taro, and they're like staple crops across the entire tropical region.
The winter will kill them here?
Yeah, we say temperate annuals.
Okay.
Even things like ginger and turmeric, but go back 10 or 15 years and people would be like, what? You're growing ginger here?
Right.
If you go back further enough, people would say that about sweet potatoes. That's a tropical perennial.
Now it's the norm.
Yeah. Just wanted to point this one out because it's arrowroot, which a lot of people know as like a white powder that you buy in a plastic bag at the store as a thickening agent. We have a wonderful chef in town called Chef Shorty for a company called Bun Intended. She's making these delicious gluten-free cookies. And she loves the arrowroot. She's like, it's the best gluten-free flour that she's used. So taking these crops that people don't think you can grow, finding a market outlet for them, and then our hope is that, we've got chefs wanting them, we've got farmers growing them, and we're really shifting the food system towards embracing a greater range of crops.
And Bun Intended, points for that name.
Yeah, they're pretty awesome.
The relationship between the Utopian Seed Project's experimental farm and local chefs is critical. The farm-to-table experience allows them to expose new crops to the community and to test their viability in fields and on plates. Today we're joined by 2 of these important partners, Chef Yunanda Wilson and Chef Luis Martinez. Chef Yunanda, whose Burmese heritage influences all of her cooking, will be selecting and preparing the collards for our meal today, while Chef Luis Martinez starts the prep.
There's a whole bunch of collard varieties that a couple of years ago we let them all intercross with each other. So this is the children of like a massive genetic shaking up of collards. When you have a real narrow genetics within a crop, then like one bug could take them out, one real cold snap could take them out. We're kind of letting the environment make the selections for us. So this white moth is flying around, and that's gonna lay eggs and eat these collards.
Say you can raise a collard that's bug resistant or can withstand the cold or heat if that's what you're going for. Who's saying, well, it also tastes good?
If it doesn't taste good, we're not going to change anyone's minds or hearts, right? So
Right.
I have got chefs on my board. We work with chefs at events, and they're the ones that we save seed from to take those like delicious genetics forward. You can have all of them because I don't actually want these to go to flour. So much better.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Chef Luis explains a little bit about their spin on a traditional Oaxacan dish with a Burmese twist.
We're going to start with a blue corn tostada. I make the masa with ashes, the traditional way how it used to be made, like, hundreds of years. So there's 3 things that goes into this tostada originally. It's the corn, the ashes, and water. There's nothing else.
I mean, what type of ash? Certain wood?
The best part of it is like barbecue. Around here,
right.
give it so much ashes. I have
Reuse, upcycling.
That's so clever.
All right, so what's going on top? That looks so good and smells so good.
a veggie ceviche.
Veggie ceviche.
That's right. I made the chickpea tofu here, which is really found in almost every part of Burmese cuisine. And we did throw in some Asian flair in here, such as the ginger juice. But the beautiful thing about being connected with all these local farmers, I'm able to really start playing with the idea of a traditional dish and using things that are around us.
And what's so cool about Asheville is you've got chefs who are willing to go there.
I feel so lucky to, I think, live in Asheville. We do these trial to table events where we take crops from the trials and basically give them to the chefs and say, create something delicious. 150 people will come and just, learn a bit more about the project, but really we're there to enjoy food that's been grown in a creative way and really appreciate food system in a different way.
Well, that's the other thing that's cool about Asheville, that not only the chefs, but the community seems appreciative.
Definitely. It's like a little big city because you really can rely on each other.
All right, I want to eat. I want you, Luis, to show me how I'm supposed to eat this.
So we gotta take it with both hands, and then you take your head and you go 45 angle, and then you eat it.
All right.
Let's do it.
Just like a taco. So
Just like a taco. Just not,
Oh my God.
Wow, it's so good.
that's the thing that I like about here, that there's so many chefs pushing each other in a way.
Rising tide lifting all boats. Everybody
Yeah.
who lives here talks about the power of community.
Yep.
Whether you're the farmer, whether you're the chef, but I do believe a lot of that springs from the land. A lot of it starts with an appreciation of where the stuff's coming from.
That's the magic of the town. Food is political. It's getting super important for minorities, and then I'm speaking here for me, getting access to real food, to good stuff. But having people like Chris and other farmers doing the hard work, that's super important.
Right, and that's what we want. We want to change the food system because it could be beautiful and tasty and dramatic and delicious and accessible
And resilient.
equitable. And
right?
resilient,
Yeah.
Food has the power to change everything.
So let's make a toast to Asheville. Farmers, chefs, community, and people who care.
Salud.
Cheers.
Cheers to that.